Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Buds and Blue Jays. I'm your host, Jesse Burl, and I am joined by my co-host, Riley McConnell. And Riley, the Blue Jays took care of business yet again. They welcomed Boston into town, and they won 3 out of 4 games, improving their record to 13-7 on the young season. And boy, it really does seem like the Toronto Blue Jays play some dramatic baseball games sometimes, don't they?
Man, I'm biting off all my nails over here watching these guys play. In fact, that's not even the only thing. Jesse, I got home from work today, and I felt bad. I had a fever. Fever for Blue Jays, man. 3 out of 4 against Boston, man. We've been killing it, dude. I haven't remembered starting out this strong in a long time. To start the year, man, boys are doing awesome. Let's just start clicking away at the episode. Lot to cover in this in a short amount of time, man. You got to witness the games. Let's talk about those games, dude.
Yeah, game 1 was a 6-2 victory for the Blue Jays. It was featured by a Bichette grand slam in the 8th to break a tie. I've never fist pumped so hard in my life after watching Bichette do that. Jose Barrios got hit hard, but did have a good start, which was good to see. We also had solo home runs from Matt Chapman and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Game 2, the Blue Jays went to extra innings. They had a 6-5 win. The Jays at one point in that game had a 3.2% win expectancy at that point, but they ended up pulling out the victory. Raimel Tapia had a game-winning sacrifice fly in the 10th. George Springer hit a 2-run home run with 2 out in the 9th to tie the game, and Kevin Gausman was Kevin Gausman. Fantastic in that game. Game 3 was kind of a dud. Jays lost 7-1, but Ross Stripling pitched pretty well. We got his first major league hit for Katoh, first major league appearance for Bowden Francis, and the bullpen and the offense were kind of the lets down there, but that was due to happen. Game 4 that happened this afternoon, Jays won 1-0. Nice little pitcher's duel. Alek Manoah did his job. He was a stud. Jays got an unearned run in the 4th from Alejandro Kirk RBI single, and Romano and Cimber had scoreless appearances there. So after this series, the Jays are now half a game back in the AL East with a 13-7 record.
Man, like I said, what a good way to start the year. We ran into a rough game there in game 3 of the series, losing 7-1. But you know what? It's a hard loss, but I'll take that when winning the series in that kind of fashion. And you go back, both 4 RBIs in game 1, obviously, and George Springer with 2. Like early on in this series, like the bats were just coming alive. They went cold the last 2 days, but that's the no panic thing, because today our pitchers really shone. They shone bright, man.
Yeah, and that just shows the depth of this team that the Blue Jays have. They were known really well for their offense, but when their offense wasn't clicking, you can get a stud performance from Alek Manoah to give this team a win when we're desperately going to need them in the heat of this AL East, which I think is a good thing going forward. Riley, we're going to move now into our 3 ups, thumbs down for the series. And as we recorded our last episode, you told me you guaranteed that Matt Chapman was going to be a thumbs up to start this week's episode. Are you going to stick with that? Give Matt Chapman a thumbs up, or have you changed your mind on that?
He's still he's still just kind of getting used to Toronto, and we'll just give him a little bit more time to stay comfortable. He's a good baseball player, and we'll give him some more time. He's not a dud. Trust me. I know strikeout rate is kind of appalling at sometimes. Yeah. The defense and power, though, is legendary. This guy is the real deal. He didn't even have a bad series. The strikeouts certainly jump off the page, but he's been neutral for us. We haven't given him a thumbs up. We haven't given him a thumbs down. He's neutral playing field. Now, I'm not trying to change the subject, but let's talk about something else. I'm going to start. How about, Jesse? I'm just going to jump in and say that I say the position player, number 1 star, George Springer, had an amazing series. Hits at almost every game, and it's a spectacular catch. I was watching, and I thought, Jesus, when did we get to Kevin Pillar back?
In center field.
I don't. Statcast probably has how fast he was running and how long his glove is and all that stuff. In my head, I'm just like, no, man, that's a good catch. It's not a huge outfield. That was a well hit ball, and Springer took the right route and got to that baseball. George Springer's just putting it together. There was the thing we were talking about, he's a top 3 hitter in this lineup. He could be a top 2 hitter in this lineup right now. He's rocking a hot bat, man. All in all, driving in runs, getting his hits. And he drew a walk today and an 0 for effort. I mean, in a game where 1 run was scored, he was doing stuff every single game in this series.
Yeah, he had 6 hits in the first 3 games, including multi-hits in all 3. George Springer was doing his part to get this team to win and did the Blue Jays. So that instant threat at the top of the order, you love to see that. I want to toss a big thumbs up here to Kosuke Katoh, who we mentioned in our last episode with Kevin Biggio hitting the COVID IL. We want to see this guy kind of go and get on this team. And he got his first major league hit, which was a hustle double. So kind of a bloop into right field that he kind of ran and sprinted hard to get into second base. He seems to be really well liked in the clubhouse, and I know he's already got a big fandom here in the Blue Jays. I just love that he rickrolled. He's got Rick Astley as his walk-up music to come up. So Kosuke Katoh, fun guy to root for. You know, I don't know how good the bat's going to be or how good the defense is going to be on this team, but he's made an impression so far early on the season, and he's going to be a fun guy to cheer for going forward.
He's obviously not going to start a lot of games for us, and I like bench players with a personality. I like our platoon guys to contribute in a lot of ways, and you definitely notice him there. He's a fun guy. He meshes well with the locker room. I'm assuming. I haven't talked to Vladdy in a couple weeks, so I don't know how he blends in too good. But Kosuke Katoh looks like a guy who has fun on the baseball field. He's young. He's full of energy. Got his first hit in this series, man. And I think plenty more to come. You know, we're using him as a pinch runner, it seems like. But I think when the roster size gets cut down, hey, why the hell not? Let's have some fun. This kid's doing all right. Let's keep him with us. Why not?
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I think as long as he keeps producing and drawing his walks like his bun, I think Kosuke Katoh is going to get a real run on this team to see if he can crack it as a big leaguer. Right. Who is your next thumbs up in this series?
Well, we're gonna have to cut our thumbs in half here, because we weren't arguing over who our pitcher was. But 2 amazing starts. Alek Manoah today. Oh man, this kid can't lose. Knock on wood, this kid cannot lose. He goes out there, and I don't know if hitters are intimidated by him or what it is, man. He just seems to just own hitters, man. He gave up 1 walk, gave up 3 hits, 7 strikeouts over 7 innings. And hell, I would have let him go 8, but we got a good bullpen behind him. Our setup and closer did their jobs. Alek Manoah has been so good for us this year. I mean, if by the numbers, him and Gausman might be our best players. And I think you got the numbers on the next guy, Kevin Gausman, who will split the thumb in half.
Yeah, well, like we can't talk about one without talking about the other. Both have been phenomenal for this Blue Jays team so far this season. Alek Manoah did his thing. 1 run of offense was enough for him. He didn't need any more help. He carried the team on his shoulders today. And Kevin Gausman the other day, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts, no earned runs. Still hasn't walked a batter this season. His strike percentage is one of the best in baseball. Like, teams know that splitter is coming, and they still can't hit it. He's even thrown in that slider a lot more to become a true 3-pitch pitcher. And we talked all offseason, was a 2-pitch pitcher going to be good enough? Like, he's going to need that 3rd pitch. 3 starts into the season, he's got the 3rd pitch. Kevin Gausman, I think, has solidified himself now as a top 10 pitcher in baseball, if he wasn't already.
Yeah, I was a little skeptical, Jesse, and this coming into the year. And I guess it has, now there's DHs league-wide. Has nothing to do with it. Kevin Gausman just strikes guys out at a rate that I did not know Kevin Gausman could strike guys out at. And not only that, hasn't surrendered a walk, and he's produced just fantastic numbers. And if you watch this guy's pitch overlay, one pitch comes in, it's watch my hand, camera. Want to go like this, and all of a sudden one dives like that. It's incredible. No, his craft is so good, man. He's so good.
Absolutely entertaining. And obviously the question with Gausman is going to be how well he holds up down the season, because he did fade down the stretch in San Francisco. But if this is the upside we can get from Kevin Gausman, oh boy, Jays have something real good cooking here. Riley, we got through all the positive stuff. Now we got to go to some of the down stuff, and we need to talk about Bichette, which sounds crazy because he hit the grand slam in game 1 of this series here, and which was a huge hit, which almost single-handedly won the team the game. But Bichette needs to be better this season. He struck out with 2 men on base in the 7th inning or later, to make the 3rd out of an inning, 8 times already, which is by far the most in baseball. I was diving deep into Bichette's stats too. He's been down in the count 0-1 76.3% of the time, which is the worst in the American League. So it's tough to hit when you're constantly behind in the count. And I saw a stat today from Ben Nicholson Smith that said Bichette has a 32% whip percentage on fastballs. So if he can't hit the fastball and he's behind all the time, Bichette is very easy to pitch to at this time. And that doesn't even go into his defense that we've talked about already in the season. He's in the 5th percentile in outs above average, which is quite bad. I'm starting to get really worried here that Bichette is not the superstar we thought he could be.
Oh, I would take about 10% off that comment. He is a great baseball player. He will be for many years. He's just not being smart. Like, pitchers are obviously catching on to how to pitch to this guy, and Bo's not adapting to that. I think he will be less successful than last season, but considering he led the American League in hits last year,
right?
That's a high bar to get. I still think that he's gonna, play a little bit better this year at the plate for sure. But I mean, he's sometimes just got to take a different approach at the plate for sure. I mean, the swings and misses is one thing, but taking pitches for strikes, I mean, it's kind of like when my coach in baseball said, see a strike. Well, Bichette's got to see a strike. And then if he sees a ball, he seems to be chasing it. It's difficult to watch sometimes, but Bichette's an exciting player. I know that he's going to, obviously I can't even say recover from this. He's going to corral himself a bit more as the season goes on. I know he will.
Yeah, you don't want to take the things away from Bichette that make Bichette great. And it's amazing how quick we forget he did lead baseball, or the American League at least, in hits last year. So we know what's there for Bichette. I'm still confident he'll get there, but changes need to be made from what's already happened so far this season in order for him to get there. So let's hope we see that going forward. Riley, who gets your thumbs down coming up next year?
I mean, I'm in no position to talk about pitchers. I can complain all I want. We had kind of a split thing here. I for sure am on the thumbs down for Yimi Garcia.
Yeah.
He got diced up in his appearance, and just it did not go over well at all. Again, and Julian Merryweather too, just giving up hard hits. And Merryweather's supposed to be what I would consider close to being a setup guy.
Yep.
And he's not looking like that. They both looked, rather lackadaisical out there as far as what was going on in the tight ball game Yimi was in versus Merryweather going in and what was starting to become a blowout. And there you go.
Yeah, Garcia was kind of due for a bad outing. Even this bullpen in general, they've been so good to start the year. Just law of averages says they're going to have a clunker here now and again. So it's Yimi Garcia's turn here, and Julian Merryweather kind of give a few hard hits. Riley, my question for you is, who in this bullpen right now do you trust to come into the game to hold a one-run lead right now?
I mean, well, there's two guys, and it's our closer and setup. Jordan Romano for sure. I know he got has a blown save this year. I won't hold it to him because, again, law of averages, it's bound to happen. Yep. And let's talk about Adam Cimber for a second. The guy has been great. He's not a strikeout arm, but giving up weak contact. I mean, he's gone multiple times this year. He's gone 1, 2, 3 on an order, and no strikeouts, but ground balls or a short, shallow fly, something like that. It's still getting the job done. At the end of the day, it might look different in the scorebook, but an out is an out.
Yep. What about Tim Mesa? Do you still have faith in him?
I mean, you asked me for high leverage.
Okay.
It's tough to ask the high. Listen, if Merryweather has a couple good appearances, I would put him in a high leverage spot. As far as lefties go in this team's pen, yeah, I guess Mesa for sure would be up there. But again, we're a right, as most teams are. We have a righty dominant handless bullpen.
Right. I would probably put Trevor Richards, and I'd still put Yimi Garcia in that category. The other guys here, like Trent Thornton, I don't think you want him pitching with the lead unless it's a big lead. Same with Taylor Saucedo and other guys like that. So I think it's just really those 5 guys for me: Romano, Mazur, Cimber, Garcia, and Richards, who I want pitching on this team when the team has a lead. Riley, I'm going to go with my next thumbs down here, and I'm going to say Jose Barrios. Now, which that might sound crazy because he did just have his best start of the season: 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. But he gave up still 11 hard hit balls in this start, and he is leaving his pitches, particularly his 4-seam fastball, over the heart of the plate just too much. So that's why people are getting these hard hits off of him. Now, a bunch of them found gloves last week, which is great. When that happens, Jose Barrios is going to be good, but he's still not at that elite ace level until he can start locating that fastball on the corners or on the edges of the zone a little more. Once we see Jose Barrios do that more consistently, we've got our guy back, and it was just another piece in this dominant rotation.
I mean, he's, let's be honest, he's getting better with each start as far as the counting stats go. If you dive into what pitches he actually throws. Yeah, Jesse, you're absolutely right. It's weird to see because I have high expectations of Barrios. I think he's a great arm, and I do expect him to be an ace of this team, especially with that contract extension he signed.
Yeah, 7 years.
The numbers don't lie. Anytime you go 7 innings and give up 2 earned runs, that's still pretty good. Doesn't I mean under three walks and under 7 hits. The strikeouts kind of concern me. I know he's not a huge strikeout guy, but he does have a very low strikeout rate to start the season. I don't know it off the top. He's cutting down his walks a little bit, but pitch location, yeah, I would like to see him, give up weaker contact and possibly strike more guys out. I'm not trying to gripe too hard on Barrios because, I really think he's going to pick it up this year. But yeah, I imagine he didn't start this cold his last couple years in Minnesota. No way.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that we're going to be excited to watch more as the season goes on. One of those polarizing guys. If he can find it, he's going to be good. But those are the little things you should watch for going forward. Riley, I'm going to give you a quick little injury update on how the Blue Jays are handling their injuries so far, 1/10 of the way into the season. We mentioned that Kevin Biggio was placed on the COVID IL. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I think rules are he has to test negative or he has to be symptom-free or whatever that is. Ryan Baracki was just placed on the 10-day IL with a blister on his middle finger. So Andrew Vasquez, the left-hander that just throws mostly curveballs, is up, and we saw him in Game 3 of this series. Hyun-Jin Ryu is throwing bullpen sessions to Danny Jansen down in Dunedin, Florida, so it seems like they're working their way back here. Nate Pearson sounds like he's recovered from mono and is throwing 26 pitches or so, and it sounds like his role might still be in the rotation, but Ross Atkins talked that they might be shifting Nate Pearson to maybe the long relief role, kind of what the role Trent Thornton is in now, where he pitches 2 or 3 innings at a time and go. Teoscar Hernandez is taking batting practice and progressing, and Montoyo said he won't need a rehab stint, so there's a chance he joins this team this weekend, but I think early next week seems most likely for Teoscar Hernandez. And Danny Jansen making progress, but still a few weeks away. Any big takeaways from those injury notes there?
Yeah, big takeaway. It's great to hear about Teoscar. Obviously a big bat, one of the most underrated power hitters, I would say, in the league for sure. That I know that's coming from a Jays fan, but the guy's got a bat. He swings it well, man. He started off the year great. He hit our first home run, obviously, and yeah. Still, man, as much as I want to see him get into the lineup and tear it up, yeah, don't re-aggravate an injury because you're going to be out twice as long. Just like be smart about that. I think a veteran player like Teoscar knows who's had this same injury. Don't push it. Obviously, he's a tough guy. But yeah, you don't want to pull it. You don't want to tweak it any worse than it already was. Heal. If you're back next week, that's great. I'm not pushing for having him this weekend. Let's have him next week, and let's have him healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, because we want this team, when we do make our playoff push, to be full go, and so we don't want to have any nagging injuries going on there. Riley, you wanted to give a This Bud's For You shout-out to one of the players on the Blue Jays.
Yeah, man. Bowden Francis, this bud's for you. Congratulations, man. A minor leaguer coming up with the big boys.
Yep.
And pitched 2/3 of an inning, did give up a hit, whatever, man. We're here. First major league strikeout. I hope he got the ball. Put it in a case, put it on your mantle, man. That's one more strikeout in the majors than you and I'll ever get. So, that's awesome. It's always good to see little milestones like that. And I'll give another This Bud's for you. I know we talked about him. Katoh, his first hit, and gets our thumbs up, which, double trophies in the episode for Katoh. Let's keep this kid around, man. I'd love to talk about guys like that. Love our platoon players. And if they're playing, that's great. If they're playing good, that's even better. Yeah. This Bud's for you. That's great. Love talking about these kind of guys, Jesse.
Double fisting on a Thursday evening, eh?
No, I got hockey on Saturday. I'm saving all my energy for that, man.
Good man. Well, with that series complete, the Blue Jays are welcoming in the Houston Astros into town, who we just played not too long ago for a 3-game series. Probable pitchers are Yusei Kikuchi with his 3.75 ERA against Jose Urquidy, who's got an ERA of 5.52. Jose Barrios and his 4.91 ERA against Luis Garcia and his 4.60 ERA. And then Kevin Gausman for Game 3 with a 2.19 ERA against Framber Valdez and a 3.15 ERA. Riley, I know we just saw the Houston Astros, but now we're seeing them in our barn. Is there something you're looking forward to seeing? And have a prediction on how it'll end.
I think it's the same deal as last series, right? It's a 3-game set. And I'm just go ahead and I'll take the conservative bet and say we win 2 out of 1. And I don't know which sorry. We win 2, we lose 1, 2 out of 3. I don't know what pitcher will get, dinged for some runs, because I have a feeling like there'll be close games and we might lose a 6-4 ball game, and one of our starters just gets hit hard. It's been happening, but you know what? I'm okay with it for now, because we're winning ball games. We are winning ball games as a team. Doesn't matter who's doing it. We're getting quality starts, and if not, we got a good bullpen, or our offense is taking us off. Yeah, we're gonna lose games. We lose 7-1. It's not the end of the world, man. Pick it right back up, and you see Manoah throw 7 innings of shutout ball, and our bullpen take right over. I'm not too worried. I say 2 out of 3 against Houston.
Yeah, I mean, the Jays are gonna lose a series at some point, but we haven't yet. And until we see that happen, I think I got to go the same. I think the Jays probably take 2 out of 3, especially here at home. Riley, that'll do it for our episode here today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe to our videos, as we're going to be doing this all season long. Riley, before I turn things to you to get out of here, I just want to wish a happy birthday to Matt Chapman. So good guy. Happy 32nd birthday, Matt. And Riley, anything else to add before we get out of here?
Yeah. Did you say 32nd birthday to Matt Chapman?
I hope it's 32nd. I didn't look it up.
Dude, Matt Chapman, I don't even know. What do you mean? That was what? Today's what? His 28th birthday? 29th. One of the two. You think Matt Chapman's 30 years old?
Yeah,
you're out of your mind. Jeez, man. Okay, come on for that. Yeah, you showed Jesse what's going on, man. 32-year-old Chapman might strike out 200 times a year, but you got some good years left in you, brother. Let's go. Yeah,
he's 29 today. I actually have a buddy and a friend of the show, Jesse, there, who it's his 32nd birthday today, who shares a birthday with Matt Chapman. So that's where we got confused. Happy birthday, Matt Chapman. 29's never looked so good. Hope it's good. And yeah, that'll be it for us today. Have a good night, everybody. Let's go Blue Jays.
I share a birthday with Teoscar Hernandez.
There you go. Out of being.